In this video, we're going to learn about tone, objective versus subjective tone. Now, if you remember way back at the beginning of the year when we had our narrative unit, we talked about tone. And tone is the words that you choose that convey a certain emotion to your reader. And so for argumentative writing, we want to try to convey an objective tone and not a subjective tone. Well, what does that mean? Well, first of all, let's look at the word subjective and let's see what that word means. Subjective means influenced by emotions. So with a subjective tone, your reader would clearly know what side of the issue you stood on, and they would also feel compelled to see your side as the only correct side. That is because you would use loaded words like right or wrong or better or worse or should or shouldn't. Now, if you remember, at the same time when we did tone, we also talked about connotation. These words have a definite connotation. They're either positively connotated or negatively connotated, and they definitely convey a feeling to your reader. Should you do this or shouldn't you do this makes the reader feel like if they don't, then they are in the wrong. And so subjective tone conveys that type of emotion, that your way is the only right way. Now we know from when we did our activity about the differences between argumentative and persuasive writing that in argumentative writing, we really want to try to objectively present both sides and then prove that our side is correct by using logic. Well, in order to do that, we need to keep an objective tone in our writing. Now, objective means neutral, not influenced by personal feelings or opinions in considering and representing facts. So in an objective piece, you would be using facts to do your convincing for you instead of using those connotative words like should or worse or bad. And so that is our goal, is to write objectively. Let's look at some examples of what these two types of sentences would look like. First of all, a subjective sentence. Dogs make the best pets. Now in that sentence, you'll notice the loaded word best is underlined. Okay, so dogs make the best pets implies that anyone who has a cat obviously does not have the best pet. And that is not necessarily factual and can be proven that cats are often very worthwhile pets, as are many others. So you may convince people who love dogs to be on your side, but you also may convince those who have beloved cats as pets to be on the opposite side. If you look at the objective sentence, this is giving the same type of information in an objective way. Dogs have been proven to lower blood pressure in their owners. Okay, so here we have a statement that gives a very positive viewpoint of owning a dog as a pet, and yet it's a provable fact. So the objective statement is the one that you would use for argumentative writing because it gives proof in factual evidence instead of trying to persuade your reader with emotional words. Okay, let's try some others and see if you can pick these out. Okay, here's the next set. One of these sentences is objective and one is subjective. People who believe in ghosts are crazy. A minority of people in the United States believes in ghosts. Okay, so which one of these do you think is subjective? Well, if you picked people who believe in ghosts are crazy, you would be correct, especially since the word crazy in here definitely has a negative connotation. Okay, people don't want to be called crazy, and if you are a person who doesn't believe in ghosts, then that also kind of gives you the viewpoint that you're better than somebody else. So this is definitely a charged word here, a loaded word. Okay, the second sentence is a fact. So it is a provable fact. A minority of people in the United States believes in ghosts. It doesn't necessarily say that those who do are in some way less than those who don't, but it does give a fact that not very many people do. So your second sentence would be your objective sentence. Let's look at another set. People shouldn't be allowed to carry a concealed weapon in a store. People who carry a concealed weapon are twice as likely to be shot. Now these two sentences both sound pretty mild, But there is a loaded word in there. Can you find it? That's right. The word shouldn't in the first sentence is a loaded word. That implies that your way is the right way. And so words like shouldn't or should, those are loaded words, and you need to try to avoid those in your writing. Okay, so that makes the first sentence the subjective sentence and the second sentence the objective sentence. Okay, so now you will have some practice sentences on your own to see how well you can pick out objective writing from subjective writing.